Thinking out of the box to solve problems is something that most Malaysian graduates lack when they are thrown into the workforce. Would scaffolding by experts help in overcoming this issue? This statement is the foundation of this particular research, whereby the characteristics of individual scaffolders are looked upon to determine its effectiveness in structural empowerment and whether e-privacy plays a vital role between the two. Four characteristics are looked upon in this research, namely information security self-efficacy, information security self-awareness, privacy concern, and trust. Empowering learners in an online setting may be hindered by issues of e-privacy in terms of surveillance that organizations engage in when monitoring employees' flow of online information to people outside the organization. Thus, in the context of this study, e-privacy is postulated as a factor that may influence companies to withhold or grant information to external parties, which indirectly it will affect the degree of structural empowerment that is granted towards learners in online scaffolding. Throughout this study, there are 5 main terminologies used, namely scaffolding, information security awareness, privacy concern, and trust. With the advancement of ICT, scaffolding can be done online. Thus, there would be an ease of transfer of information from the industry experts towards the scaffolding. Industry experts have more knowledge, thus they can empower learners better, and the characteristics of individual scaffolders as per past studies denote that they greatly influence the degree of information exchange between external individuals. With the right guidance, there would be a better thinking approach for graduates. Thus, they would be able to think out of the box. Structural empowerment theory is a long-standing theory of more than 50 years, commonly used in the nursing field. In the field of education, it is slowly upcoming, and the most common now is the blended learning approach. Communication privacy, on the other hand, is similar to communication boundary management, whereby it's a systematic theory which is designed to develop on an evidence-based understanding of how people make decisions about revealing and concealing private information. This is best used to test the effectiveness of problem-based learning. The theory of planned behavior forms part of the communication privacy management theory, which eventually goes to the point that to say individuals have the autonomy to control what and how much information is to be provided, thus going to our moderator back again of e-privacy, how much is to be given and how much is to be retained. In Malaysia, e-privacy policies are not clarified in any communication or online act, unlike in developed Western countries such as the United Kingdom and the United States and even Germany, and certain Asian countries such as China, Hong Kong, and Japan. Firms in Malaysia are expected to implement non-standardized e-privacy policies to suit the nature of their business. This practice creates a boundary of confidentiality, enabling a filter process and ensuring selected or limited information is publicly available to external parties, such as students who often participate in online scaffolding. This gives us two questions to answer throughout the research. Firstly, to what extent individual relationship affects structural empowerment, and secondly, how does e-privacy moderate this relationship? The scope of this research was towards managers of service and non-service companies in material of their citizenship. The study was from an information security perspective, thereby we go to MSC companies, and a test was conducted to see how the e-privacy policies of organization actually moderated the characteristics of these experts towards structural empowerment granted to students. The significance of this research is such that it will help improve in problem-based learning. This is with the view taken from the experts themselves, and we hope that with this we can highlight new policies to the education system to be implemented in higher institutions. Based on literature review, 4 main predictors of behavior: information security self-efficacy, information security awareness, privacy concern, and trust was proven to be the most influential conditions when it comes to structural empowerment. Thus, we use this to test the extent of how they influence online scaffolding and how e-privacy is moderated. Al-Sulati tested all these variables against structural empowerment. Many research gaps were found. However, the main gap was that in structural empowerment, management education has never been studied. Structural empowerment has never been a dependent variable. It's always been tested as an independent variable. The use of structural empowerment in a non-Western context is very low and usually is widely used in the nursing field and not in educational setting. It is the very first time where structural empowerment theory is tested together with the communication privacy management theory, and e-privacy as a moderator in a non-Westernized environment is also being done as a first time. Based on the above, this is the hypothesis formulated. Information self-efficacy exerts positive effect on structural empowerment. Information security awareness exerts positive effect on structural empowerment. Privacy concern exerts positive effect on structural empowerment. Trust enhancement exerts positive effect on structural empowerment. And finally, how e-privacy moderates the relationship of information security self-efficacy, information security awareness, privacy concern, trust towards structural empowerment. The table provides a summary of the research design element used for this research, where we can see that the nature of the study is explanatory, the theory used is theory testing, and we are using purposive sampling, and the data collection technique used is survey, which was divided into 2 phases: pre-testing and final survey. And the interference of the research is very minimal, or we rather can say no interference occurred during the nature, course of work process or activities collecting data. This is the diagram of the structure model of the direct effect of the characteristic towards structured empowerment. This diagram provides for the indirect effect of the structural model, whereby the moderating element of e-privacy comes into place. Based on the testing, we found that only information security awareness, information security self-efficacy, and trust towards structural empowerment is supported. All the other hypotheses are not supported. The hypothesis test and analysis reveal that individual characteristics exert significant influence on structural empowerment. However, the moderating effect of e-privacy and privacy concern does not reflect the desired result, which is due to other issues which need further research. In multinational corporations, many challenges exist for the employees in order for them to help in empowering problem solving among students. E-privacy policies among companies differ. Thus, the barriers for relationship of industry experts to be practiced when dealing with students in problem solving. The research needs to be expanded further to other companies and different demographic areas, where we also need to look at the behavior pattern and modes of the respondents. We also aim to expand the moderating variable to other dimensions and also to see if qualitative research would work instead of qualitative, to see if then there would be relationship between privacy concern and e-privacy towards structured empowerment. Information technology is always portrayed as a negative impact to data privacy for its high chances of being exploited. But this study has proven that sound privacy policy can support better scaffolding experience between the industry experts and students. Information specifically obtained from this form of investigation can be used to funnel strategy and policy formulation, which is embraced by top management and policymakers. In conclusion, we can say that there is significant effect between individual scaffolders and structured empowerment. E-privacy is useful but not in the Malaysian context as a moderator.